Hello everyone, welcome on board, welcome back. Thank you so much for stopping by, for supporting the channel. Also a warm welcome to my Danish subscribers. I'm shooting my videos off from Denmark. Please remember that there's much more astrology down below the video, and you're also welcome to check out my website herlanguage.dk. So today we're going to have a look at two energies that have been presenting themselves to me lately. I thought was quite interesting. We have Aries and Penelope meeting up here through this warmongering stuff we're going through right now in the world, and where we also tuned in to please remember that there will be a time also after this warmongering is over. There will be a time for reunion. Okay, so initially, before I am starting the reading, I will just show you a couple of cards that also showed up for me. And the first card is this inner earth coming through. There's kind of a breakthrough going on in the world right now. The new is going to present itself. We are in the middle of, saying goodbye to the old and hello to the new. And in that, I'm both hearing transmission, but in that transit that we're in right now, it is this push and pull we're seeing. So that is really what we're going through right now, but there are solutions coming in here. There are new beginnings, and we are seeing an activated earth here. And if we just could please have more trust in where we are led to, or situations or places, persons that we are being led to be together with, if we could just trust that some more, I think that we would find that we would be more confident, and just perhaps being more able to live together in peace and calmness, and in altruism, and just love, actually. So maybe you are being led to some place in particular right now, so pay attention to that. If that's going on in your life, that's what you feel. So, but there's definitely something here where we are seeing much more activation throughout the world. And also remember that we are part of that. We are also a part of the natural circuit. So whatever's going on in the world, we will respond to that. And the energies that we are sending back, equally the world, the earth, will respond to that as well. So let's begin by reading a little bit on Aries and this warmongering energy. And it says here that Aries was the Greek god of war, and he was known for his obstinate fury and brutal courage. However, such was his blind rage that he did not often win the battle. His aggression prevented him from thinking things through, and he lacked the wisdom of cool assessment. If you have drawn this card, then there may be hot-headed anger or warmongering around you now. Maybe you or someone else is acting in a furious manner and not stopping to consider what the consequences may be. Perhaps some time out might be sensible. However, it is not enough to simply hold frustration in, and physically exhausting exercise is the right way to appropriately channel rage. Anger is best released through sporty, muscular activity, which is why we also have a lot of Mars energy in here, of course. On the other hand, wrath can be a potent driving force which achieves a result when all else has failed. Properly directed, rage can punch things through, but be sure you are doing the right thing. Also, is it worthy what we're fighting for, and are we doing it in a worthy way? So right now we have Mars building up on 28 degrees in Libra as I'm doing this reading. Both Venus and the Moon is right now in Leo. Venus building up on 27 degrees. And lastly, right now we are in Virgo season, so we have the Sun together with the South Node, and Mercury. Mercury building up on 28 degrees. So we have all the personal planets now on 27 and 28 degrees. So check out where you have those degrees in your chart if you want to know how this might be hitting you in your personal life. 27 or 28 degrees in Leo, Virgo, and Libra. I thought it was just very interesting to get that, to take that with you also here. Lastly, I will pull some personal cards at the end of the reading that you can take that with you as maybe a message from your guides, whom or what that may be for you, or you can just take it as a mantra or a little extra support, but only if it resonates with you 100%. Okay, so let's read a little bit about Penelope. Penelope was a young wife. She was actually the queen of Ithaca, with a new baby son when her husband and King Odysseus, or Odyssey, left to fight to the Trojan War. She then remained faithful and true to her husband, even though he was gone for over 20 years. As time passed, Penelope was besieged by hundreds of suitors. However, her heart remained steadfast, and she devised clever ways to delay the day when she would be forced to choose one of them. She missed her husband with all her soul, and her trust never wavered. Eventually, the lost and weary Odysseus made it home again, but suspicious of what he might find, he disguised himself first. On learning of Penelope's faithfulness, he eventually revealed himself to her, and they were reunited once more. So there's also something about getting a second chance here. If you're waiting for a beloved to return, you might take heart from this inspiring story. This message is a positive one of hope and unwavering faith that one day there will be a reunion and love will have its day. And that is just sending us right back to this card, I think. Okay, so some kind of breakthrough energy could also be something that we are picking up on here as well. So let's begin the reading by pulling a card for Aries. What is Aries showing up with here? And I have brought a card deck with me today, which is for me always pointing to the fire energy, our life force energy, our courage, passion, able to take action on things, very much the instinct and the intuition meeting up here perhaps, or the masculine or the feminine. But I'm also hearing the word betrayal. Let's see what it is. And there seem to be 3 cards showing up here. So a lot is going on here. It's the memories of Atlantis, spiritual ascension, acceleration, progress, technology. So this is also the Ankh symbol of life we have here. So there might be something here that back in the old Atlantis people were fighting as well. There is some kind of acceleration into the world right now that is beginning to be activated, something that we are beginning to remember. Second card out is Halls of Immense Initiation, secrets revealed, treasures uncovered, and initiations. And also Mars is ruling the first house of the astrology, where we have Aries energy, very much about how we are presenting ourselves to the world, how honest we are about that. It's about our aura field, our physical eyes, and our third eye chakra. And also very much about initiations, of course, because in the first house we really need to accumulate all the energy possible to even make it through the entire chart. So that's why we need that fiery energy, fierce energy maybe, that we believe in ourselves that we can do this. And so we have a lot of geometry here as well. We have perhaps the pyramids and maybe a hint to the Orion constellation. But there is something showing up here, definitely back from the times of Atlantis. And that is because we have not mastered the energies from back then. That's why we are really at where we are right now. And then we have ancestral realm, karmic release, healing the lineage, and boundaries. So that's really much pointing to the first house, Aries, fire energy, more DNA, more inspiration. Something is being awakened here to be released. Something has been, what you call it, in the dormant, or something has been asleep, where we perhaps have ignored it, or maybe we just didn't know about it because we have not been taught about it in our educational systems. No one really told us about these energies that are now coming to the surface. Okay, and maybe you want to go to places like, if you are living in England, or if you want to journey to England, maybe Stonehenge or Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Maybe you want to go to the pyramids in Egypt, or someplace else, maybe in Peru or Chile, searching the stones. So maybe if you just want to go to the ocean and pick up some stones, I'm getting that as well. So there is some kind of karmic release here as well coming in here. But also we are seeing in these years that borders, boundaries, like I'm getting the word borders in, that we are fighting. It's like we're having this, I'm getting the word border line, that we are crossing a line, and that it's very, since we have Jupiter right now in Cancer, it's very much about crossing people's, crossing the line. It's like growth, but on other people's accounts. Like we can take this country if we want to, or we can take that country if we want to. We're just moving across borders here. So this is really much about boundaries. How are we putting up boundaries in our own lives? How do we protect our own structure, the way that we feel is truthful living? So let's see what Penelope is up to. What is she bringing here to the table today? And she's coming in loud and clear and saying, that's my soul, that's my feelings. This is the moon, or maybe some other planet calling in here. The mountain. Like she is steadfast. She is strong as a rock. She is not moving anywhere. She is the mountain that will always stay where it is. She's not gonna give in. She is calling for reunion, no matter what. Let's put it over here. And also I have brought my, I can just have this card over here. I have brought my my peacock stone here for creativity. I feel that that's what the world needs right now. We need to be extra creative to be able to see eye to eye again when all this war and conflict is over. We must remember that there will be a time where we need to maybe forgive each other. So that's what she's bringing in here, a crying of the soul. She's crying out with her feelings. She's sitting here being, she's longing. It's like we're in Neptune, Piscean mode here, where we are so much caught up in our own feelings, in our inner world, that we cannot really interact with with what's going on around us, because it's just too different from what we are experiencing on the inside. So let's have a look at the fairies. What are they coming in here to tell us? And I am working with the fairies today because we are in Virgo season, and that is very much about the earth energy. So let's see what is actually tangibly coming in here. What will the solution of this be? What is the big great advice? And also this is to get some kind of bigger comprehension of why we're seeing so many conflicts right now. There are so many secrets coming up right now, so much that has been suppressed. And it's all from, how we're dealing with climate change, to corruption in our political system and in organizations, institutions. I know that even in Denmark, even though we're just a small country of 6 million inhabitants, we are seeing a lot of stuff coming up where people have not been honest about the way they're presenting themselves in the world. They have been masking themselves, trying to now protect themselves. So let's see what the fairy has to say on that. How is this reunion coming about? This warmongering meeting up with reunion, Aries meeting Penelope. Very interesting energy. I feel like Penelope is trying to call out to Aries to say to stop all this. And Aries right now, being in Libra, should be create more balance and harmony. But let's not forget, I'm also seeing a lot of Venus energy in Penelope, as I mentioned before. And Venus right now in Leo, she's really very passionate in her senses, using her senses. She's trying to protect what is near and dear to her. And she's not moving away from that. And I feel that she is perhaps trying to call in a different energy here. And Venus is also ruling, at least in mundane astrology, she is actually ruling Libra. So Aries here is visiting Venus in her home court, right? Because Libra is also about justice. It's about gathering information about what's really going on, checking out more than just two sides of the story. Could there be a third or fourth side of the story why this is going on? And Aries is visiting his sister sign here. We have Aries, Libra, first, 7th house, ascendant, descendant. So Mars is really much talking about how Mars is being received in the world, because in the 7th house with Libra energies, it's about our relationships, all our relationships. So how are we being received with our attitude or the way we're acting on things? And Aries here is a long way from home. Isn't that interesting? She's waiting for her husband to return after 20 years. He's far away. So maybe Aries will learn something about harmony, harmonizing things, finding balance, finding that communication is important rather than physical action. Okay, let's turn to the fairies and see if they have some tangible inspiration for us. We have card number 24 in reverse. Normally it looks like this. It's about the Piper. And this is very much talking about harmony normally. We have 2 plus 4 is a 6. We have number 6 over here. Number 6 is always reminding me that we are also coming from the universe. It's when we're going more astral. So let's read a little bit about this card in Brian Throut's book here. And let's see what this Piper is about. But normally it is about keeping up the harmony. Listen to, again, I'm being drawn to this natural circuit of things. So the Piper, it's about music, order, harmony, seduction, and empathy. Okay, so in reverse here, the Piper is saying, when we have blocked out the melody of the Piper, we can be like someone mesmerized, lost in a dream, stagnating. Alternatively, this card may represent people so vague and diffuse that they are insufficiently earthed to be able to keep commitments, or even to remember that they have made them and it wasn't just another fantasy. Self-absorption, moodiness, and self-deceit can be problems. Altogether, unreliability and untrustworthiness are a real problem. Look at the other cards to see if anything can be done to rectify this, or if you just have to take this into account and make your plans accordingly. When the power of the Piper is twisted, it becomes manipulative and may be aimed at seducing others into something against their judgment or ethics. That's exactly Libra energies showing up here. It becomes like a spider waiting at the center of a web to entrap someone. Penelope is also called the Weaver. And I actually believe that her name, just let the camera tune in again, that her name means the Weaver. So interesting that the spider is showing up here as well. One of the worst abuses of this energy is to use our empathic understanding of the needs, hopes, and dreams of others to attempt to lure them into self-destructive ways, especially by playing on their illusions, delusions, and confusions. So fusions seems to be something going on here as well. So there is this manipulative energy going on. They definitely need to have a look at self-worthiness, something that Penelope perhaps is also working with, that also Venus is working with. If we don't trust ourselves in the world and in this transitional process that's going on, how are we able to trust each other in the longer run? So now is the time where we are coming out of this self-deceit mode. We are trying to, like, this moodiness going on over here, and maybe the self-deceit going on over here, because Aries is very much about ourself and how we see ourselves in the world. So if we do not tune into harmony and balance, and if we do not choose, because there's a lot of will going on here as well, if we will not have a look at ourselves and how we are showing up in the world, and if we will not be honest, because we do know what love is. I think that is the main problem. People who have not been meeting too much love in their lives, they are struggling, and that's also what's like being expressed in the world right now. So let's have a look at the astrology. There's definitely something that is not in balance right now. And right now we are seeing Aries maybe playing a little bit on this delusions, and maybe playing a little bit. I feel that Mars is playing Venus right now, right? Trying to lure her into something that she's really not. Venus in Libra is also about self-worth and not trying to suppress ourselves. We really want to keep up the good vibe And then Aries is coming in here, and Penelope is saying, what is it that you want? Where is your self-worthiness? Are you fighting just to fight? Are you making a conflict just to make a conflict? Where is this going? And I think that Aries over here is having a great awakening towards this, that there is something here that needs to be done so we that once and for all can release karmic energies, right? And karma is about action, and Aries is about action. So there's also something here that needs to be taken action on to finally release it, once and for all. But we still in that process need to ask ourselves, is it worthy? Are we doing it in a worthy way? We can definitely karmic release in many different ways. But there needs to be some kind of worthiness over this. Let's pull some astrology cards to see where this is taking us. And I'm sorry about the light changing here, but Aries is also about life, right? It's fire energy. So let's have a look at what or where we should tune in right now, also in our personal charts, to find out what's going on in the situations that we are being presented to. Let's see what's coming out here. I hope you're taking great care of yourselves out there, that you're trusting yourself, that you are nurturing yourself, especially here through Virgo season, that maybe you want to do some new type of exercise, or you want to change your diet, or you want to go more vegan or vegetarian. Also figuring out what your calling in life is, what is calling to you. And maybe there is something about your health going on as well. Maybe you want to take things a little bit slowly. We have a house card, so that would point to the area of our chart. So we need to find the 8th house in our charts, because this is, as it says on the card, the transformational area of your life, where it is about shared resources and intense emotions. Venus and Mars here in the picture. So that is how we're sharing with each other with the butterfly. It's also talking about deep transformation. We have the rainbow here. Something or someone needs to find each other here, or figure out how we are sharing with each other. Very intense. This is Scorpio Pluto energy coming in. So transformations, metamorphosis. This is deep change, like in we are transformed forever. We will perhaps not recognize ourselves or the situation we have been in when we have been through a meeting with Pluto and Scorpio. So there could be something about, if this is about your work life perhaps, or some kind of, with your bank or insurance company, for example, what kind of contracts, what kind of deals do you have going in your life? And also have a look at the people whom you regard being the most important people in your life. How deeply do you share your feelings with them? How honest are you with them? Or the other way around, how honest do you find, or maybe lack of the same, people being towards you? And then we have a zodiac sign coming in. So that would be the energy, and here that is surrounding the 8th house. This is Gemini. So maybe you do have Gemini in your 8th house. If not, read the zodiac sign energy together with Gemini here, the zodiac sign that you do have in your 8th house, and combine it with Gemini. because Gemini is about dialogue. It's about being informative, spreading information around. We should really be careful here that there is not someone or something in our 8th house that is being too chatty, where it's gossiping and scandals and other stuff, where things are just moving too fast and where we are lacking the truth of things because it's just moving so fast that we are not paying attention to the details. So maybe there is a story being told here, where we find that we lack some kind of substance. So we need to check up on, well, this information giving or this information that we are bringing out ourselves. How sure are we that it's actually pointing to the truth? Have we all details in this before we are saying anything to someone else? Before we are in some kind of communicational exchange here. So it can also be very lively and witty, as it says on the card, because Gemini is always like a child. It has this childish, free of prejudice like energy around it. We are very playful when we are Geminis. We like to chat, we like to listen to music, we like to dance, we like poetry. It's like this kid who is still dreaming, where we are free of any kind of moral in life. Gemini is also speaking to our infrastructure, transport, commerce, educational systems, at least for children and younger people. And also it's a reference to our press, TV, radio, social media, all that. So there is definitely some kind of talk going on here, but I'm also very much with the 8th house being led back to secrets here, treasures uncovered, secrets revealed, something coming up here that is really deep below the surface, because the 8th house is about our subconscious also. So what is it that there's something deep coming up here, a dialogue. And also two parties here again with Gemini, right? Duality. So we need to have some kind of shared dialogues here, some shared information. We need to build bridges between each other here. We need to have some kind of exchange, some kind of deep conversations. That's what I'm getting here. Where we are, and in that process we need to be very careful that we are not playing each other, that it's not being seductive for just the sake of being seductive. We need to play this honestly, where it's like music and again order, the natural circuit showing up here again. It is about harmony and empathy, really feeling each other, but also empathy is about putting ourselves in the other place, in the other person's place. Can you understand me, Aries? And can you see, Penelope, why I need to be out here to fight for a better world? Because empathy is about when we have been uncovering maybe secrets in ourselves, understanding ourselves better, then we can begin to go more out of ourselves and into someone else's place in life. So deep conversations again. I'm hearing this song like deep undercover, deep undercovers. Maybe some of you out there remember that song. I'm going deep undercover, deep undercover. So let's see which groups are coming in here when we are turning to cosmos, to the cosmic energies. What else is coming in here? And normally I read these cards also in reverse, but as I'm just asking for the groups showing up here, I am only reading them in their upright normal position. So it's just for some of you, if you've watched some of my other videos, I read them also in reverse. Okay, the first group out is the group that we are calling Ebens, and I will just read you a little bit. It's a very interesting card here. It's about the mystery, reading between the lines and intuition, right back to the 8th house. Okay, so let's just place it over here. And the other card is coming out. Number 13, the MIBs, the Men in Black, stalking, intimidation, and confrontation. We have here the moon. Isn't that interesting? It could be the moon here, right? A full moon. Something is coming out of the shadows, right? The secrets being revealed over here. Maybe Penelope already knows what that is about. Okay? So something is being confronted, like we're confronting each other here. Pluto could also very much be the general here, saying, you know what, if I direct Aries or Mars in that direction, you will take action on that because I am the general. I am telling you to. I'm giving you orders on doing that. So something is stalking us here, and I feel that it's maybe back from the old Atlantis. These old energies are showing up frequently throughout the years, and they showing up because there's something here, someone who wants to talk to us, okay, who wants to bring in some important information to us. And let's read a little bit on these cards from Lisa Porter's book. So the EBENS is an acronym for extraterrestrial biological entity used by specialized top secret pathology, astrology, and scientific experts researching discovered ETs in captivity, alive or possibly injured from spacecraft's crashes, or researching decreased ETs via autopsies. Though EBEN does not refer to any one specific type of ET, it is claimed scientists have labeled the found EBENs into 5 known categories. Many alternative scholars believe the tiny mummified skeleton found in the Atacama Desert in northern Chile is indeed an EBEN and not human, for a range of scientific reasons not mentioned in mainstream discourse, and because humans are ancestrally of ET genetics, which goes totally against the official publicized narrative. So some other words connected to this is the unknown, discernment, a hunch, healthy skepticism. While we are in Virgo season right now, maybe we need to be a little bit skeptic about that. It's about infant, back to Gemini. Something is in its infancy stage. So Gemini is also the first of the 3 air zodiac signs that we meet in the chart. So that's where we are beginning to grasp what is communication. Gemini is where we explore that, well, there is both an I and a you. Okay, what's that about? So Gemini is the communication, is the bridge between 2 parties. And also another other words on this is discriminating data and questioning. Exactly. Gemini is the kid who's coming up here. Oh, mom, what is that? That's a draw, honey. Oh, father, what is this? What is this thing called? Well, that's a knife. Or, mom, what is this called? You know, and this kid can go on forever, forever because we are curious in Gemini. We want to know more. We want to sit down and learn more. Like, this is also a library in this card that we are moving into. So maybe some of you find that you are extremely attracted to just books or other kind of information on Google, or maybe you just feel that you are drawn to your local library. So act on that, because there is more information about that. And in that questioning, we need to follow up and follow through on things so that we get all the information this time, so that we really get a cleansing this time, that we know that right now we are tuning into much more knowledge about who we truly are, that there's been some lag on that. So that's what the Ebens are about, that there will be more artifacts showing up for us, and that we should really dive more into that. Instead of just going to the pyramids, looking at them. I know I was there back in 1995, and I didn't know a lot of stuff about the pyramids. So I was just like, wow, they're so big. I need to go touch the stones. They're magical. Wow, this is just big and unbelievable. But that was it. So when we are going to see something, maybe you want to go to Crete and see Knossos, or I don't know how you Knessos, an old temple there as well. I've seen Stonehenge, I've been on Crete, and I've been in Egypt, and I didn't know what I know now about those places. So when we visit a place that holds some kind of artifact, please just go deeper. Also talk to that stone or whatever it is. Talk to the artifact. Tune into it. Instead of just dismissing it, well, wow, it's big, it's wonderful, I can't believe I'm here, to going to more into the mystery of it, reading between the lines, using our intuition, our soul, our feelings. Okay, the men in black, they are also known as Horlocks. They are android, biosynthetic humanoids, supposedly manufactured by the Alpha Draconians. Encounters with MIB have been recorded since the mid-40s. Just around the closing up of Second World War. They typically wear black suits with dark sunglasses and are extremely sensitive to sunlight. More recently, MIB have been reported wearing stylish, sophisticated, and upgraded outfits. Being biosynthetic androids, MIB have a creepy, deliberate, crude, soulless, and strange appearance. Their movements are mechanical, awkward, and often uncoordinated, and their peculiarly emotionless presence is described as spongy and macabre. The MIB makes selected intimidation visits to specific people who have had UFO alien encounters or bizarre paranormal experiences. Witnesses have reported MIB driving black automobiles into canyons, mountains, and tunnels where they appear to have simply dematerialized. So some kind of Harry Potter energy may be going on here as well. But let's have some more words on this group. They're meddling, they're clumsy, they're intrusive, they can be gossiping, and there we have Gemini again, the low frequency of Gemini, when things are just moving too fast. They have they are petty-minded. This is also about theft, spying, or interfering. It could even be threats. And then this creepy energy again. Okay, so there is something creeping up on us. There is something here that we should look more into, okay? These artifacts are showing up now visibly to the surface to tell us something. They are trying to communicate deep secrets to us, something that has been suppressed for many years, something that has been out of circuit, something that we have been out of touch with. Okay, so let's move to the tarot cards to see if we can get some more information, maybe on how this is playing a role for each and every one of us in our individual lives. We have Queen of Cups coming in again, the full moon. This is a time to be more empathic. This is a time for being more motherly. We have again the fire energy here, the orange color. And she's sitting in the middle of the desert, looking to the moon, maybe praying for water, a cleansing. But this is also a time again to use our intuition to read between the lines. She is very much about the foresight of things. She's sitting here drawing in the moon. And we don't know everything about the moon. We always just see one side of the moon. So what's on the other side of the moon? We don't know. That could be the secrets being revealed here. Symbolically also about human nature. Artifacts showing up more about where we are coming from. Again, Jupiter in Cancer right now, talking about the roots and prior lifetimes and our background and our home. Very interesting. We have 10 of Swords coming out here. We just had it. Okay, mentally we can't, we need to surrender ourselves right now. We need to start reading between the lines. We need to learn more about the soul, maybe the moon, Neptune, Pluto. We need to know more, diving deeper, connecting ourselves with healing, solutions, eternity. Neptune is very much about looking out there, getting into connection and dialogue with extraterrestrial life or interdimensional life, how we want to put it. So 10 of Swords is like we are hitting rock bottom right now. And then there's only one way, and that is up, or the only way is through. Okay? So we just had it, like mentally. This dialogue is, there could be secrets here. There could be some kind of suppression of little Gemini here. Maybe Gemini is onto something, but it is being suppressed. Or there could be some deep truths coming up that Gemini is just saying, you know what? Like I mentioned before, Gemini is the first of the 3 air zodiac signs, so that's where we are beginning to understand. We are beginning to learn about communication, but we are not fully educated in it. We still lack to grow up, right? We need some adulthood here as well. So it can just be too much for Gemini here, that we just had it mentally. We had it here. A lot of conflicts coming in here. And 5 of Wands. Exactly. There we have this warmongering. We just want war for whatever the reason. We have had it. And mentally, this is, communication is very, very much needed right now at this time. That's why it's showing up here. It really needs to, there is something we need to talk through here, because all this bad or communication or even lack of communication is leading us instantly to just taking action on whatever is triggering us here and now. Okay, the bottom card, Queen of Pentacles, that's Virgo coming in here saying, okay, I'm now taking the big hammer here to try to get some kind of breakthrough. This is also Mother Earth perhaps talking to us, saying, okay, right now you got to stop this. This is talking about our material lives, money, accommodation, our home, physical home, job situation, and also the structure in our life. Virgo is very much about how we keep ourselves going in our everyday life structure, in our everyday lives, where to be, when to be, how to do things, being very practical to make sure that we get through our day. So there is something here now about safety. I feel very much this is Mother Earth showing the hammer, but there is some kind of tangible breakthrough here. We will see documents, we will see more artifacts, we will see other things showing up also as a result of climate changes. Some things are being covered with water, other places in the world, new land is showing up. And this is also a time where we are very much emotionally involved with our private economy, again, back to the contracts with our bank, insurance company, whatever. We are very much hooked up in that. And we need to follow through on our intuition right now, a hunch or feelings of our soul, whatever we want to call it, our inner world. We know the truth, maybe though it is hidden, because I feel very much that this is the outer world and this is the inner world, feminine, masculine energies, and things are just going crazy out here. And now we need to slow down. We need to look at what is tangibly being presented to us. There could be some maybe peace contracts here, peace documents here, but something showing up here maybe to explain to us more why we are in this situation. But we definitely have had enough. Mentally we are filled up with medicine, vaccines and drugs and alcohol and whatnot, you know, pesticides through our food, stuff like that. That is bringing us into an unhealthy mental state. And it's also really just screwing with our water, with the water in our bodies, right? The water holding hidden knowledge, hidden information, remembrance. Okay, let's have some inspirational cards. And here we have the World coming out. Something is at the end here. The last card of the Major Arcana. Something is reaching the end. It could be the end of the world, but again, the end of something old so that something new can begin. The cosmos is coming in here. We're having a breakthrough. We're looking at the earth and the history of the earth differently. There is still something that needs some kind of unmasking here. Back to Mars. We need to understand something. I feel that it's the universe like doing like this. Like, yeah. We need to come into more balance. The Temperance card. Talking about transformation and healing also. But juggling. There could be something about juggling the moon phases right now, since Penelope is showing up being very moody, but also very patient, and she is very much caught up in her own world. It's like she's becoming a little bit stubborn here. She's telling Aries, you are visiting my home country here, my home area, when you're here in Libra right now, so please listen up. Temperance, we are adjusting, we are adapting to each other here, but that is also what we're going through right now, we're seeing in the world, right? And since Pluto ruling the 8th house is right now in Aquarius, which is about higher consciousness and stuff like that, having a greater view on things, right? Doing things differently, seeking more freedom. There is also a bigger awareness coming in with that as well, because Aquarius is also about humanity and the world, looking eye to eye, understanding each other's community. So there is also something here that we are adapting to emotionally right now. Because it's hard to see so much being exposed in the world as we're seeing it right now, that we cannot comprehend it, we cannot understand it all at once. We need to take it step by step. But there is definitely something here about adjusting to the cosmos, to the fact that the world has its place in cosmos. And we are adapting. We are trying to adapt. The Sun, the bottom card, card number 19, coming out in reverse. Big energies we're having here. 3 cards from the Major Arcana. So it's our inner sun right now. We need to go deep undercover, deep undercover. We need to seek the light in the deepest shadow sides of ourself. Okay? We need some self-exercise here. And follow the light, even though we need to swim right to the bottom of the ocean, perhaps, to rise back up in a better understanding of things, so that we can find a solution on this fight, on this conflict going on here, over here constantly, where it's pretty exhausting, and we feel pretty exhausted right now in our life force energy. We are so tired that we need to tune in inwards. We have all the answers inside. We need to learn that. Reading between the lines, learning more about the mysteries. What is mystery? Perhaps the mystery is just in front of us. We just need to uncover this blindfoldness we have got going here to see ourselves in a bigger perspective. But Mars in Libra also means that we are seeing a lot more things being taken to court. So if you want to check out your own chart, go to the Earth zodiac signs, the water signs. We have air and fire signs. We have it all going on here, but maybe you have your 5th house in a fire sign, for example. You go with that, or you have your 10th house in an air zodiac sign, something like that. If you are being drawn to one of the elements here, go with that, definitely. But for all of us, it's about the inner sun, the rising right now. The inner sun is on the rise. We follow the light no matter how deep we are going here. There is really something about consciousness opening up to us here, deeper secrets, diving deeper into ourselves. How low can you go? Okay, so let's just have some oracle cards here to see if we can get some headlines on this, on what's going on here. And again, if you want to take some of these words with you, you just do that. But I feel also this is about the safety for the planet, that what's going on here on this planet is also affecting on what's going on in the cosmos, right? There's something here that is stalking us in these years. Many people are reporting more UFO sightings and some kind of abnormal or surreal experiences that cannot be explained perhaps from how we are normally being, from how we are being brought up to understand our society and understand ourselves in the world. So let's just have a card out here. So this is about karmic relationship. Yeah. Again, karmic release here. We've been here before. We've done this before. Karmic release. Karmic relationships. Sorry. And then 2 cards. We have wisdom coming in here, alongside with phobias, of course, because the 8th house is of course also about anxiety, trauma, and crisis. So there is definitely a talk here about the crisis that we're going through. We need a talk, right, in our relationship when we feel that we need to break up with someone, or someone is asking us, you know, I need to see you tonight, we need this talk, right? But there's some deeper hidden wisdom, and that is what we are perhaps afraid of. So very often what we fear the most is actually what is setting ourselves free. Also, again, something that Pluto in Aquarius is talking about. So maybe there's some kind of wisdom here that's showing up for us, that is being reawakened here, that is just gonna freak us out. Also back to the 10 of Swords. We are having Gemini here once again, and then the number 6, the Lovers here. This is not from a tarot card deck, but this is just always reminding me of Gemini here. The doves, when doves cry, our Prince sang it once, but the Lovers coming in here. Maybe we are, you know, for most of us, we have been here like 100,000 times before, and maybe we are finding the relationships now in our lives where we need to find peace and harmony and balance. We are adapting to something here. Aries is adapting to that. But there's definitely something about lovers here, finding peace with one another. And I feel also that now is the time. This is how far you can go. This is the boundaries, you know, like the end is near, but behind that sunset there will be a sunrise. And we have now here the sun before here, the sun setting, sun going down. Look, don't let the sun go down on me, like Elton John was singing. Okay, give me another chance here. Give me another chance. Wait for me. I'm working my way through. I'm working my way through to your heart, to balance, to harmony. Also, the sun is talking about our spine and our physical hearts, frequencies, vibrations. We have gift coming in here. Okay, so this is actually maybe a very gifted time to be in. Let's just have a look at the bottom cards because I found them very interesting. Okay, we have number 1, main male. This is Mars. Our self is being taken back to Egypt. This means that how we are understanding ourselves, or to be able to understand ourselves, we need to go back to Egypt, Orion constellations, but also what is beneath the pyramid, the card we had in the beginning over here. What is below the pyramids? Actually, there were water. Back to Queen of Cups, there were water. There's old wisdom there. But we need to have a look at Egypt, at the pyramids, maybe even the Sphinx, and Orion constellation, because Orion is believed to be a portal to other dimensions. So we need to have a look at that to be able to understand ourselves fully. Okay. Okay, so let's have another look at the fairies coming in here. What does the Piper in reverse have to say to us? Let's see what's coming up here. So maybe you are waiting for a gift here to come in. 1 + 7 is 8. 8 here. So there could be something here that this is, that this is a gift, the contract we have here. There is a gift coming in here in how we're sharing our resources with each other. So how much do we bring to the table here, and how much do we have to offer? And back to Queen of Cups, how receptive are we? Penelope is also about receptiveness. She's perhaps receiving the gift of love when she has her beloved husband back. But he wants to check out her life before he reveals himself, because maybe he could be hurt. What if she had found someone else? Right? So there's also a great vulnerability over here, a high degree of vulnerability, that we are perhaps scared of knowing more. What if we find that our spouse, or the contract we have with our bank, that there's been some kind of corruption energy over here? What if someone has been stealing away from us? Let's see what... And the Pirate in reverse has 2 cards for us. Dreaming. Number 11, be aware of your dreams. I think we'll put it over here with Penelope, right? Because right now, back to Queen of Cups. Back to Queen of Cups, where we are working with our dreams, our longings, also a deep form of a deep degree of sensitivity, right? So spend time on your dreams. What are you dreaming at night? And also right now we need to wake up, right? We need to be aware of what kind of inner world it is that we want to manifest in the world around us. Our passions, our virtue, our affection. And we have card number 15, imagination. Let your dreams take flight. Okay, so now is the time for Queen of Cups to come into action. We have card number 15 here, double 15. Maybe the 15th is important for you if it's a date or a house number or something like that. Now is the time that we, using our fantasy, our imagination, that is exactly, to me, where we are entering into the new world, where we are entering into something else. That is exactly where we start communicating with maybe deeper layers of ourself, and that deeper layer of ourself is really a telephone call or a lifeline to whomever, whatever may be out in cosmos. Okay, that is the room we are entering, that private room. So going inwards actually means going here with our aura field, going outwards. So inwards and outwards. Maybe it's two sides of the same story, two sides of the same thing. There's a you and there's an I and a you in the world. There's me, there's you. But together, what do they create? So now is the time for us to hold that vision and start taking action on what it is that we feel is right and truthful. The deeper truth coming out here as well. Okay, so let's pull. So again, take some of these cards with you if you find them interesting in your own life and where you're at right now. But to use our imagination, back to Gemini, back to being the child. Oh my God, you know, when we grew up and we became adults, my God, for some of us, maybe we found that life became a little bit boring, right? I know for myself, I went through the entire educational system, and I was very, very happy to do that. I was very curious on learning more languages and history and stuff like that. But afterwards, I found that world, there was no way I could integrate that world into the outer world. So that left me a little bit clueless. That's why I've been not having a normal job for like 17 years, because I did not feel the resonance between those two worlds. So now is the time to take action on our dreams and believe in ourselves, trust that we are exactly where we should be, even though maybe life right now seems mentally confusing and exhausting. We have card number 10, gratitude. Maybe we should be a little bit more thankful for what we have. The dragon coming in here, the MIBs coming from the draconian constellation as well, the dragon. Okay, but there is something here to let the dragon lead us where we are supposed to be, because the dragon is our best friend. It leads us to the treasure, that we're holding. And I actually think that it's Taurus we have down here, the symbol of Taurus. Our self-worth, balance, harmony, how we keep ourselves going in the world, our self-sustainability. The dragons can help us find what matters the most for us. Like they are holding our light and they're saying, okay, whenever you are coming back to me, I will make sure that you remember who you are through life change, through the changes of your life, through the warmongering. I will make sure that you will be reunited. And we have been far and about, have we not? 3 cards here before we are through with the reading today. Awareness number 3 here. I actually feel that this is also back. Yeah, we have Gemini here. If you can see it in the card here, Gemini, the symbol of Gemini. So maybe for those of you who are Geminis, or you have your moon in Gemini, or Gemini is just showing up in a very peculiar way. Maybe you want to go with the mandala here as well. The bird, the air. But awareness, we are becoming aware of that. Okay, there is this energy going on over here, but okay, there's also this energy over here. Smile. Yeah, it always helps to smile a little bit. Maybe to not take ourselves too seriously, right? We cannot all be king of the world. 24, make a pause. smile, take a pause. Again, the moon. So maybe you want to meditate on the moon. I feel that the moon is very important in this reading. So, you know, also about feeling at home. Maybe having another look on our habits in life. But maybe also seek more privacy, perhaps. But there is some kind of, you just smile, take a pause, because we are changing in our awareness. We are changing in how we are viewing ourselves, understanding ourselves, talking to ourselves in the world, to understand our role in the world. Back to this, how we understand ourselves in the world, and that we also have a role to play. So let's wrap this reading up with a few final words. And also feel here the 10th house is represented. You know, the 10th house is about our life purpose, also job, career. We are making status. How far have we come? What are our goals in life, and how far have we come? In regard to that, we have affirm, create your own affirmations, think of words or phrases that inspire you and write them down. I'm sorry about the noise in the background. Again, back to Aries, all this noise. I've been taking some days off, and there's been a lot of silence around the area where I live right now. And then today I just wanted to do this reading, and then the neighbors thought, well, back to business in the garage. We need to fix something. We need to use our tools again. You know, we need to fix the car or something like that. So but there's a lot of noise going on also when we are trying maybe to redirect our energies to Penelope and reunion and peace and dreams. Maybe there's something that just wants us to not go that way. Something that wants that is disturbing us. Okay, so let's just have, okay, let's try another deck here. Since we are in Virgo season, I feel that this is very much to where you have Virgo in your chart. Take that with you however it resonates. But there's something about spaciousness and positivity. Again, back to the sun, the bees. There is something positive coming in here. But we need to make more space for positivity. We need to remember to smile more and just take a break once in a while. Don't be too hard on ourselves, because we are also working our way through 10 of Swords energy here, which is just a complete mental, complete meltdown mentally. So while that is going on, that is leading us perhaps astray into 5 of Wands, and sometimes we just need a break. And I feel that this is a break from war, okay, to, you know, Gemini, Trump is a Gemini. There needs to be a break in all of this insane energy going on in the world. Yeah, maybe we need some more solitude, some more daffodils. This is also Easter, a symbol of Easter, when we are perhaps reborn or rebirth, something like that. I'm not religious like that, so, but I'm just being tuned into that. And also the butterflies transformation here. So maybe we need some more alone time. Maybe Aries, I just put it up over here because maybe Aries needs some alone time now to have a little bit more contemplation on why am I now in Libra? What is Libra all about? And maybe spend some more time alone with Queen of Cups. Coming in here, or maybe spend some more time with his sister Athena, who's more about strategies and also wisdom, right, coming in here. So I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing some of your precious time here with me. Wherever you are in the world, seek peace, take a break, don't be too hard on yourself. Try to go with your curiosity and see where that leads you. Maybe good times will be a mantra for you. But But I definitely hope that you are all well, that you're taking great care of yourself, so that you are not at war with yourself, but at peace with yourself, and through that also at peace with other people also. Okay, so I hope you found this interesting, and until next time, be brave, listen, care for yourself and others, and let the universe in. Bye for now.